up, everybody? It's 7:29 a.m. It's the 10th, Saturday, January 2018. What would, depending on who you are and what you believe, would either be or not be considered the Sabbath, Shabbat. Frankly, I've never been good at keeping Sabbath, period. And that's not me bragging, it's just a fact. It took me a long time to figure out that there's something to this day of rest thing. And then once I finally did embrace the day of rest, shortly thereafter, the question became, well, what day should be the day of rest? And we could have a big legalism versus grace argument here. We could have a big conversation, heated discussion about Catholic Church and paganism and Sun Day, the day of worship of the sun, S-U-N, not S-O-N, and whatever. We could go there, but we're not going to, because that's not what this channel is about. What this channel is about is doing things. So I'm on my way to a shop, our shop that burnt, because I need to start doing some demolition there today to pave the way for that thing being completely demoed. And so I've reached out to several friends of mine to see who wants to hang out today. And my friends know me well enough to know that if we're hanging out, we're probably going to be doing something while we hang out. And today it'll be swinging hammers and pry bars and, you know, operating sawzalls and drills and things of that nature. But, you know, today's a pretty low-key mission, right? Go in there and take the stuff apart, right? Pull the cabinets and fixtures off the walls, pull the flooring up, pull the electrical fixtures, pull the drywall, pull the insulation, expose the framing, and then disassemble the framing stick by stick because I want to reuse it on some other projects. And you're probably thinking to yourself, you know, you could just buy more lumber. I could just buy more lumber. There's $3,000 worth of lumber in there, though. And if I can go reclaim it in a day or two, that's time well spent for me on the weekend. But point being, you know, I have literally 24 people that I could call in this neck of the woods and say, hey, I need something. And they'll be there that quick. And that's an extreme blessing. I don't feel that I deserve it because, frankly, I feel like I'm a bad friend. Because I'm always busy. I like to try and bless as many people as I can, and generally the way that I bless people is with these. By doing things for people, I don't have a lot to give other than my time and my skills, but I always feel like I should be doing more to help out the people that call themselves my friends, and I just have a very limited amount of time to do anything like that. But I try. And as a result, again, I don't feel even remotely worthy of it, but I have a large group of people that if I need something will help me out. And I know this because I've seen it in action, and it astonishes me every time because I'm not that guy, right? But it begs the question, who do you have? If things got real ugly right now, who do you have? There are those of us that do not make friends easily, right? Those of us that have our walls up, our armor on all the time, and I get that. I was literally and figuratively armored up for a large portion of my life because of my past. And the problem is when you let people inside that armor, now they can wound you, right? The thing that sucks about betrayal is only a friend can do it to you. Right? Only somebody you love can betray you. But you have to take that chance. You have to build meaningful relationships with people, because sooner or later you're going to need help. And if it's just you may not make it, right? You need a support structure, not just right now, but when this thin veneer of civility fractures and frays and comes apart at the seams, and this end stage decadent civilization falls apart, and we revert back to an agrarian warrior class society, you're not doing it all on your own. Period. The end, right? All to say, start building your tribe now. I mean, legitimate tribe. There should be a group of people that you would literally bet your life on, because you will be sooner or later. If you're wondering how to do that, you need to build context with people. Shared experience is what allows people to build confidence and comfort between each other, okay? Shared experience. It's why so many guys that were in the military, right, they have strong emotional bonds to their brothers in arms and to their unit and to their branch, right? Two Marines can see each other from 100 yards away and they know, right? Like, those guys are going to sprint towards each other so they can high-five each other and chew up Crayolas together, okay? All right? It's just how it goes, because there's context and there's shared experience. So if you don't have people now, or if your team is not, it's just loosely affiliated, just start putting something together. Barbecues, cookouts, classes, and I need to get better at this. We all need to get better at this. I say I have a mag, and I do. We haven't been together in quite some time. We need to get together again, and we need to continue to build this context. And to that end, listen, some people are going to be way more interested than others, okay? Way more interested than others. And you're not going to... It's really hard to recruit somebody into a mag, right? And I made this mistake. I have people that I love and care for as friends and brothers and sisters in Christ, right? That are not particularly interested in these types of things, but they have phenomenally useful skill sets when it all hits the fan. Well, I thought that would be enough to get them interested in this, and it's not. And I would love to have them involved, and they're not. And to me, it's a shame, but what do? You can't make somebody feel convicted to be prepared. You know, just like you can't make me feel unconvicted that I need to prepare, right? It's not possible. If it's in here, you can't make it or unmake it. So be careful about getting your hopes up about recruiting people into your team, right? Conviction comes from the Holy Spirit. Yeah, I went there. You're welcome. You can talk to people. It's just like trying to share the gospel with somebody. Your onus is to share the gospel with them. Whether or not they receive it is on them. Okay, it's kind of the same thing with preparedness. Is you need to open up to somebody, anybody, and say, hey, look, these are concerns that I have, and to mitigate those concerns, I'm preparing in XYZ manner. I would love it if you would prepare with me. I'd love to be able to help you. And one of the things that I really tell people, like eye to eye, face to face, looking them in the eye, I say, look, I love you, and I'm concerned about you, and I will help you with whatever I can help you with. When this all goes away and it's just you and me, I'm there for you. But I will not take a morsel of food out of my children's mouths to put it into yours. So you need to get your end straight so that we can help each other. And that's a tough conversation to have. But that's where I draw the line. So just some things to consider as far as putting a team together, but I really admonish you to have a team. Start now. Have a group of people now. And look, skill sets are great. They can be built, right? Character and personality can't be. So, avoid negativity, obviously, right? And It's good to have people you get along with, but it's also good to have people that have opposing viewpoints than you, because depending on what type of little internal government you plan to set up after it hits the fan, if it's an autocracy or a monarchy, that's one thing. But if you're trying to have some type of democratic process, or I like tribalism. I'm into tribalism. I think you should have a clan chief, a war chief, and a priest, right, or spiritual advisor. And then you should also have a representative of the men that speaks for the men, and a representative for the women that speaks for the women. So then you have 5 key people that are basically your council of elders, and any action should require 3 out of 5 approval, right? 60%. It's kind of how I feel about it, unless it's imminent. If the war chief says we need to do this now before we become statistics, before we get stacked, we need to do this now, you do it now, right? But that's kind of how I feel about it. But it's good to have people that don't necessarily agree with you, but not to have people that are combative about it, okay? And it's a balance, it's a dance, but you really need to start getting your team put together, because you're going to have a lot of other pressing things to do when it actually hits the fan, right? So if it's squared away now, it's one less thing to worry about. We as preppers like to fill our shelves, right? And fill our ammo cans and fill our gas cans. And we fill up all of these things, right? All these vessels we fill up. We forget about this vessel right here. And we forget about the vessels that all of our friends and family represent as well. We're not filling them up, and we're not filling ourselves up with community and with relationship and with love and camaraderie and support and guidance and all these things that we're supposed to be doing, but we're not. And it doesn't matter how much food you have if you can't take a nap because you're by yourself in a hostile environment. It doesn't matter how many seeds you have if you can't possibly plant them all because you throw your back out and you're laid up for 3 weeks and you got nobody else to share the load, right? Many hands make light work, and you're gonna need somebody for emotional, spiritual, physical support after the balloon goes up, if not right now. So start putting a team together now. Start thinking now, who should I talk to? Make a list. Make a list of 20 people, 20 families you want to talk to, and figure out the approach for each is going to be different too, right? Don't mass market to these 20 different people in the same way, but start building those relationships now while you can. We have resources now we will not have in the future, says me. So I want you guys to think about that. I really, really, really want you to take this seriously, because all it's going to take is for you to get a broken leg and you're a statistic, unless you have somebody else to help you. So that's what I got for now, guys. Y'all have a wonderful day.